back into the game. Hope you're good today, Psycho Sheep. Hope things are all good and well. So, hello everybody, I'm Coldflow the Barbarian, and welcome back to the Gaben Gauntlet number 46, Bayonetta. Today we continue our seemingly never-ending journey to beat all of my Steam games, of which the current total sits at 310. We are also continuing our 4-week special event, The Gift of Gaben's Summer, playing only the games that you guys have gifted me. So thank you all so much for being so awesome and sending me these games. Let's dive back in. Now, I don't know where it's going to drop me off. Oh good, it does load from the last checkpoint. Excellent. I wasn't sure if I'd have to restart the whole chapter, or if it would keep us from a checkpoint. Oh, this is fantastic. Great. Awesome. That's a immediate plus to the game. That was right where we left off. Huzzah on that.
What are you doing? Let's go.
Barbarian!
Yo, Grayson! Are we into that 15-month resub? Thank you so much, Grayson. You are now the mightiest barbarian. How you doing, Grayson? Oh. Oh shit. That's fine. Was that like a damage checkpoint? Just set level up, play through harvest and not miss anything. Yeah, you pretty much can. Ding dong. So we've been this way before in a previous level. This road was only the chosen could travel during a religious pilgrimage to the temple before it was closed for preservation. It was once open to tourists. Witch's brew. This is something called alchemy. It's something that today. Yeah, okay. Entering the gates of hell. Now maybe we could buy something a little better now. We should have some more currency, whatever it is.
Well, an Angelic Hymns Gold LP. Got your hands on something awfully rare, haven't you? That thing is the perfect bait to coax out some of hell's uglies. One note hits their ears, and a damn who's who of Inferno comes pouring out of the inner circles. Then I can use them to breathe life into what I make best. Weapons of mass destruction. Tell you what, you give me that record and I'll order up something so fiendish, angels will cry at the sight of it.
Well, I like the sound of
I'll
that.
just have to pop down to the tropics for a bit. So take a load off.
Yes, go make me an amazing weapon. That sounds wonderful. Yo, what up, real?
All done.
Jesus.
He's a little rude, but he makes up for it with charm. Be nice to him, okay?
So we get them, or I guess we have to buy them. Oh, it's wrong, alt. I want to save up for some of these accessories. Infernal Communicator. Uses some of the infamous band of demon use known as Little Devils. This item allows communication between Purgatorio. By using a magical device, one is able to temporarily contract the Little Devils. Call upon their power to attack one foes. Huh. Shiva, the Indian goddess of destruction, said to have been crafted by the witch, you have to say, while serving the Empire. The legend states the bracelets have the power to repel an enemy's attack. It's reported to have been invincible, as their mastery of this technique allowed her to nullify any attack, no matter what the strength. Oh, we can buy witches' hearts. Magical limit. While midair, press right trigger. That sounds really useful. Any sort of movement tech always sounds awesome. Slash an opponent with a incredible quick devastating thrusting attack performed in midair. Press towards an enemy twice quickly. See it by holding around and running towards an opponent. Let's get that air dodge. Oh, you can try it. Interesting. I'll get it. Hey. Okay.
I just pulled out that jogging stroller.
Pulled out the what?
Jogging stroller.
Oh yeah.
And I put it next to that couch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look for a bin to put in as a closet, put clothes and grows out of it.
Okay. Sounds good.
That way we can.
Good plan.
I'll be back.
Okay, have fun. Weapons can be assigned to set A or B. You can change sets at any time during the game by pressing left trigger. Huh. So what is it? I guess A, and I guess one's like my hands and one's my feet. I thought they were shotguns. Oh, right. Okay, QTEs. Will we kill him or is he... No? Oh, we're just content with not killing him? That seems not fun. Oh, there we go. He just slaps his head. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of time in La Mulan of just me being lost.
Bam.
6,000, 5,000. Yeah, definitely. Usually where I am with spoilers is, like, let me attempt, and then if I just need more progress, I'll typically ask.
Round over.
I need to just be more free with those shots, because... I'm trying to be too conservative with my ammo for that, and I just need to just shoot and shoot and shoot to try to get points. Oh, come on, little buddy. He looks like he's getting a little fussy, but he might just need a pickup and a pat on the back and he'll go back to sleep. I've noticed, Real, I've noticed. Oh, we can go right to the gates of hell from here, that's good. Hold on. One moment. One moment, let's see if we can get little buddy back to sleep. Background noise, but they suffer from the same problem as NES Mania, where I don't have a ton of time to watch, which is lack of progress in time I have available. Understandable. What's up, little dude? You're all completely out of your swaddle. You're all completely out of your swaddle. Let me just pause the timer a moment. We'll see if we can. We'll see if we can get him situated. Yeah. What are you doing? You want a little bottle? Maybe a little bit? Let's see if I'll take a little bottle and then go back to sleep. BRB. Hold on, little dude. Here. I'll mute the mic so he doesn't blow your guys' ears off. Okay, little buddy.
Come here. What's you want? What's you want? Oh, I think I know what you want. I think you want bottle. I think you want a little bottle. And then I think you'll be sleepy. Alright. Well, I just happen to have a little bottle for a little dude. So let's see if you can move your hands for a moment. Is that what you're after? Maybe, yes, no, maybe. Ugh. Maybe you just need a re-swaddle and a pat on the back. Yeah. I agree completely with you, Psycho Sheep. That was definitely one of my major issues with La Mulana as well. Was I felt like the lack of being able to store information within the game itself was just bad design, in my opinion. I get that there are people like Real who absolutely delight in note-taking and doing that shit by hand, but I'm not one of them. And I feel like it would have been relatively easy to implement a system that stored all the information that you found, and it would have still kept the integrity of the game. It still made it difficult, but it would have just put the information you found all within the game. And the game would have still just been as difficult, the puzzles would have been just as hard, but it just gives you access to information that you already found. They give you full space right away at 2, but it's not unlimited, yeah. You were saying you did pretty well for most of it until, I guess, towards the second half of the game, then you were really happy you took notes. So, and I do consider it a problem, that problem is still relevant in 2. But, however, now I am wiser from having played 1. So I will begrudgingly have to take notes. Or I could just say, fuck it, and just kind of rely on you guys to give me hints and point me where I need to go. Because you wrote down a lot of lore, though. See, okay, I'll read the lore as I run into it, but I'm not going to write down lore. And you get but see, it's very hard to tell when you're reading that stuff what is lore and what is a hint you might need later. Like, you'll read about a god that he did this, this, and this. Well, that might be a clue to something you find later that might mean, oh, you have to jump. You're like, oh, the god of 2s and 3s, he dances all day. Well, that means you have to, like, jump up and down 23 times on his head to unlock a door, to unlock a thing. So, it's hard to tell the difference between lore and not lore in that game. Makes it easy to control F. Yeah, I'm sure you could probably abbreviate a lot of what you read. And just, like, add keywords to it. Yeah. It's one of those things that's like, it's hard to judge how much time it actually saves, but I guess that just depends on your own memory. Because it's like, yeah, you can sit there and write down every note, and you probably don't need, like, you probably only need maybe like 40% of the notes that you'll actually write to help you out, because you'll probably, hopefully it's paced well enough that the information as you find it is relevant to stuff you're about to come up to. But the first game definitely didn't have that. There were tablets scattered all over the place. You'd find a tablet in the first 5 minutes that wasn't relevant until, like, 20 hours in, and then you'd forgotten completely about it. Which isn't a bad thing, that's just how the game is designed. You know, that's not necessarily a complaint of mine, that's just how the game is. It wouldn't even need to be a search function. Like, you could just make, like, an in-game log that just filled in the blanks as you found them, and it wouldn't be that difficult. Like, it didn't even need to have, like, a properly organized index, but you could definitely make a log or some kind of... There's some kind of system you could implement to put it all within the game, but... Oh, but don't get me wrong, like, La Mulana is still a really good game. I did enjoy my playthrough of it. It has its issues, and I did have some gripes with it, but as a whole, it's still an excellent game. Very well made, considering the very small amount of developers on the game, and how well it looked, how well it played. It's still an excellent game. Yeah. Yeah, it is not a game you could recommend to everybody, that's for sure. It's not for everyone. You have to kind of enjoy some of the crypticness of it, or at least be able to tolerate it. Because some of the puzzles some of them were like a little cryptic, but they were still well within acceptable range. Some of the puzzles definitely suffered from some translation issues. They weren't quite properly translated, and they were definitely made more cryptic than they should have been, just due to poor translation. But yeah. And I feel like they could have maybe cut out maybe like 20% of the puzzles in La Mulana and made it a more concise game, because there was way too many times that I felt like you'd find an item that led to a puzzle that just led to another item to another puzzle, and it never really felt like you were making any progress. It just felt like you were just doing the puzzles just for the sake of doing the puzzles. And most of the time, none of them led to anything substantial except another item which had to be used in another puzzle. Yeah, that's true. It's one person could view something as a problem, and some person just views it as a feature. And that's fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, no game's perfect. La Mulana did have its issues. Like, I'm not a fan of the floaty controls in La Mulana 1, but they did get rid of those in 2. But that's a preference thing. Some people do like the floaty controls. They think it gives it kind of a unique feel, which I can understand. I'm just personally not a fan of floaty controls. I never have been. But that's just a preference of mine. That's not a negative against the game. That's just a preference. Yeah, I think he just wanted a bottle. He'll be alright. I think they, despite having floaty controls in 1, I think they probably did floaty controls about as good as you can. I like that you could do like a standing jump and then be able to control yourself better on a descent. So they did leave some flexibility in there. But being hit by an enemy and then being knocked back like halfway across the screen is just annoying, no matter how you slice it. But they did implement it in a rather unique way, so I did appreciate that. Well, like I said, I don't count the floaty controls as a negative against the game. It's just a personal preference of mine. I just don't like floaty controls. Some people find the controls perfectly good and acceptable, and that's totally fine. But yeah, La Mulana. The thing about La Mulana and its crypticness and its difficulty, and I mentioned this in my review of the game, was La Mulana was one of those games I feel like needs to exist. And what I mean by that is it's kind of unforgiving difficulty, and it was kind of a throwback to the old school games and how they used to be. They used to have games that were kind of referred to as Nintendo Power games, where the only way to beat them was to have a Nintendo Power with the answers. And La Mulana definitely has that kind of a feel to it. I feel like a lot of games nowadays have kind of forgotten how to do that, and La Mulana did it very well. Maybe a little too well in some parts, but I definitely respect La Mulana very much and what it tried to do, and that it stuck to its guns no matter what. It never conceded on the vision it had for its game, what it wanted to feel like, how it wanted to play, and it didn't cave into, you know, I guess dumbing it down for the sake of hitting a broader audience, so I have to respect it for that. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. And that was back in like the early days when game design wasn't as thoroughly researched and understood as it is now. It was kind of the Wild West. Everyone was trying things out, seeing what worked. Whereas this was This was definitely, it was vague and cryptic by design. I would say overall, yeah, it's very fair. It gives you most of the information you need. Some puzzles, like a handful of puzzles, and I won't count this against the whole game, a handful of puzzles are just complete and total bullshit. It's just, you finally get the answer, and you're just like, are you fucking serious? But there's only really a handful of them that are like that. Most of them are pretty fair. They give you the decent amount of information you need. You just need to kind of sort it all out in your head. Yeah. There's really only a handful of puzzles in the game that are true and utter bullshit. And I think some of those are due to the translation issues that I mentioned earlier. And I do like that La Mulana left some of the things, just like, there's a very few handful of things in there. Alright, let me start over. Let me start over with this thought that I'm having. A lot of, especially early on, a lot of the puzzles that I solved were by complete dumb luck. I would just kind of, I learned very quickly just to be almost constantly swinging my weapon at objects and walls and everything just to see if it would break. And a lot of the things I figured out just by complete accident. Whether you could say that's good or bad design, maybe it's neither. Maybe it's just kind of whatever it is. But, I don't know. I feel like that happened way too many times, and it shouldn't have. Sometimes, some of them was just pure dumb luck. Like, apparently how I got the chain whip, I guess it was? Or whatever, the final whip, the best whip in the game, I got by sheer dumb luck. Which is fine. But I felt like me just randomly hitting things solved a lot of my problems. Yeah. And I think it's just kind of one of those things that's just part of the La Mulana experience. You just kind of have to learn how to play the game, and that's just part of it. You just have to learn to hit and check everything. They're all hinted at. A lot of the room names are studying the map. Yeah, the map was definitely confusing. I think a better map. I get what they were trying to do with you had to figure out how it all linked together, but I think the map system was bad. I don't like how they had it set up. You know, I was not a fan of that map system. Like, I get it, it like, kind of makes sense once you figure it out, but it felt unnecessarily trolly to me. The last puzzle, as in, like, where you're supposed to go at the very end? Solve the intended way, yeah. It was by sheer chance that I mean, I had to redo it once. Oh, the mantras? Oh, yeah, that was a little very vague. God, you were tanking this bottle, buddy. I hope I don't have to make you more. You are hungry. So a little update on Alex, since we're just talking about random stuff. A little update on Alex. He had his pediatrician's visit today. He is 23 inches long, which for his age is in the top 95% for height. So he's doing well, he's doing healthy. He's still having some reflux issues, like he's got like really bad like indigestion and acid reflux. So the doctor prescribed him like very mild to small dosage of Zantac, which is just an antacid. So we just gave him one dose a little bit ago. So hopefully that will make him feel a lot better so he won't be quite so cranky. Because he was doing pretty bad there for a while. He'd wake up after 10 minutes and just be screaming and like somebody just stabbed him in the stomach with a knife. Like he was just in pain. It wasn't like hungry crying, it was literally like somebody stabbed him, is what it seemed like. So, and he's just been excessively burpy and gassy and spitting up way more than he should be, so. The doctor, we all seem to agree that we think it's it's just an advanced, like a bad form of reflux. So we've got him on a mild antacid. See if that helps the little buddy out. You're a beast in this bottle. I'm the best at mitosis, so hopefully he'll be a happier baby now, which will be very happy for mommy and daddy if he's a happier baby. Mommy and daddy are only as happy as baby is. So happier baby means happier mom and dad. If baby is miserable, mommy and daddy are definitely miserable. So we're doing everything, but aside from the reflux, he's perfectly healthy. Everything's been going well. He's gaining good weight for his size. He's getting nutrition that he needs. No issues. You know, he's a happy, healthy baby with a few little tummy troubles. Right, buddy? That bottle gone? No, you got a little more left. I probably should have fed him a little more when I fed him earlier, but I didn't want to risk him spitting up his medicine, so we kind of gave him a smaller amount of food than he normally gets, just because I didn't want to risk him spitting up. So we wanted to keep that medicine in your tummy, buddy. Yeah. So this is the other half of your meal that you probably should have gotten half hour ago, but it's okay. You look like you're going to go right to sleep as soon as you tank this bottle. Which, let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. You definitely need to be burped. We have to be very diligent on how well we burp him. I'm sorry if he yells. He hates being burped. Come on, little buddy. Give Daddy a burp. Okay. I know, we interrupted your food time. Come on, give Daddy a burp. Just a little pat on the back. You're so strong. He always acts like he has to go somewhere. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. Hey, just give me a burp. Oh, that's a big stretch. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Alright, come on. You owe me a burp, buddy. Oh, yeah? You don't say. Okay. You'll get the rest of your bottle after burp. After burp, we gotta burp you. Doctor's orders. I have to dangle his feet over my legs because his legs are so strong, he'll just like almost leap out of my arms with his leg strength. Burp? Burp, please? Ugh. Welcome to parenthood, everybody. Yeah. He talks, I just talk back to him. Oh, yeah? I try not to mimic his baby sounds to it. Oh, there's a... Alright, little spit up. Little spit up, that's okay. That's okay. That was just a little bit. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Yep, I know what you mean. Alright. Okay, little bud. Alright, little spud bud. Little potato. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's pretty much a burp. A little spit on your lips. I should probably just change this to IRL and we'll just hang out with Alex for the next hour or whatever. Oh, yeah? Yeah. How's your tummy feeling these days? See, that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to give me a good burp. Here. Where's your binky? Try the last little bit to your bottle. There's a couple mouthfuls in there for you. You good? He usually lets me know when he's done. He'll just kind of push the bottle away. How's that feel? Feel any better? I don't know if that's a yes or a no with you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, yeah? Yeah. What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Want a big tea? He's hit or miss on the binkies. On the pacifier. Oh. Well, he's hit or miss on them. Sometimes he'll take them, sometimes he won't. Just kind of depends on what mood he's in. Sometimes I try to give him one after he's eaten because the saliva is good for his digestion. And it kind of keeps him from overeating. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Well, why did that happen? Oh yeah? Yeah. Where are you going? You always act like you've got somewhere to be. You've got lands to conquer, villages to pillage. Ugh. Oh, little bud. Little buddy. Try to keep him upright after he eats. Alright. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. You're just not gonna let Daddy stream today, are you? Maybe later, you said? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Alright. You probably need a diaper change and etc. Okay, well, you've had it. Alright, sorry guys. We'll try again in an hour or so. We'll see if I can get him comfy and back to sleep. Alright. Going offline. Hopefully see you guys in a bit.